was the same reaction I had when death like appeared on screen for Seventh Seal.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
I'll remember that.
No reason.
So check this out. Dodger went and picked me flowers.
Are those dandelions?
Dandelions. That's what I said when he brought them in. I said dandelions.
That's awesome. Welcome to the Cinema Slime Abyss, the podcast where we stare into the eyes of the snake, drift through film, fantasize about the riddle of steel, and listen to the lamentations of their women. I'm your host, Ren, and as always, I'm joined by my brother-in-law, Scott.
Do you want to live forever?
And my brother, Harrison.
Grant me revenge, and if you do not listen, to hell with you!
That was actually really good. Every movie we cover is from a curated list and randomly picked based on our monthly theme, and right now we're in week 2 of July in the midst of Odyssey, Myth, and Legend. Just a reminder, if you're looking to jump straight to the discussion, you can use the chapters in your podcast app to skip our banter.
Don't.
Today, we're heading to the Mountain of Power to revisit John Milius' 1982 film, Conan the Barbarian. A really normal, family-friendly film.
Oh, yeah. Gather all the kids around. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Okay, so just as a way to break the ice, I thought we could do a little kid bragging, you know, because we're dads.
We never do that on this show.
We never do that at all. So I had 2 experiences this week that felt pretty good. So I think that, including all 3 of us and all dads in the world, we've all had moments where we're like, man, I'm a shit dad. And I am so bad at this. I wish I was
I was going to deny it, but then I thought better of it.
But
yeah, we're all guilty. Every
now and then my kids do something and I go, you know what? I'm doing all right. And both my kids did something this week. So one thing in our household, I want to support our local ice cream man really badly. I love doing it. And when he comes down the lane playing that music, my kids get so excited and we run out and get ice cream. But I'm telling you, when it's $8 to $9 for a popsicle, like you're kind of killing me, buddy. You're kind of killing me, and I really want to, but I just can't do it anymore. So Nicole and I were at the grocery store. Actually, I can't say Nicole and I because this is totally Nicole's idea, so I can't take any credit. But we're at the grocery store, and there was a really killer deal on popsicles. And she's like, you know what? I got this. We bought a bunch of popsicles. We put them on our freezer, and every time the ice cream man comes down, that means my kids can get a popsicle. And it saves me money. So feel pretty good about that. Yep. Ice cream truck goes down the road yesterday. Charlie gets excited. She goes out to the freezer, gets her popsicle, and then she brings in the empty popsicle box. And she walks over and put it in the recycling bin. And I was like, dude.
Did she break it down?
she didn't break it down. Yeah. She didn't break
yeah,
right. She didn't break it down, but she didn't leave it in the freezer empty. That was my was my moment of like, awesome. Okay, I'm doing okay as a father.
Now I'm impressed. Yeah. Yeah.
And then yesterday, Jamie was being a real butthead. And he said some mean things to Nicole. So I came up here and me and him had a long discussion. And he was kind of understanding everything. And everything was going good. And I say, all right, buddy, I need you to go apologize to your mother. You can't do stuff like that. And so he stomps downstairs and does that, I'm sorry. And then just walks away. And you're like, it's like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
About an hour goes by. And Jamie walks up to Nicole, sits on the couch next to her. And he goes, hey, Mom. I'm thinking about it, and I was a jerk, and I'm really sorry, and I don't want to be like that anymore. And I was like,
nice.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Ding, ding.
I'm feeling
maybe
good
that
now.
kid will be able to stay married after all.
Yes, maybe. But yeah, no,
that's awesome.
That was just a good like growth moment of like, boom. I didn't like the first time I had to tell him to do it, but the second time that was a true apology. So props to him.
We had Knox's 8th birthday over here over the weekend, and at the end of the day, I was like, at the end of the day, we're all winding down, and I was just sitting next to Cash. I was like, dude, you did so awesome today. Like, for being an older brother, like, there was no fights about opening a present, and there was no meltdowns after everyone had cake and ice cream. It was just like everything went really awesome. Mm-hmm. And I was just giving him some recognition about that. And he's like, thanks. And then that all flew out the window the next day. But it was really cool to live through it for that day. It was really fun. Yeah. And it was good while it lasted.
I'm actually going to give some props to Cash right now, actually. So we were at that party
please do.
and it was a rager. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of people there. I gotta cut you off, Scott. You were busy, but we had a 7th Seal themed party. What? It was really awesome. Allie shows up with all the decorations, and it's all like checkerboard. And I was like, oh, chess. They're like, no, checkers. I was like, 7th Seal.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Knox comes checkers. Down just like bald with like a black, wearing a black cape.
with a black,
in a black robe. I could see him being Death, by the way. That's
one arm out. Yeah.
But we're at the party. The conga line was pretty intense. I love seeing Jamie. He's in the conga line.
That was
and
so funny.
He like reaches out to put his hands on the shoulder of the girl in front of him, and he's like, oh, I don't know if I can. So he just like floats his hands over her shoulders. It was super funny. I was like, awkward kid moment. But Charlie
personal space.
Charlie was in the living room, and she picks up your kids' Switch, and Cash looks up at me and goes, hey, is it okay if she uses the Switch? And I was like, I should be asking you that, because that's your Switch. So is it okay if she uses your Switch? And he looks at me and goes, yeah, why not? Like, I don't know. It was just very like, yeah, why not? She could totally use it. And I was like, you know what, Cash? I appreciate you. Good kid.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah, he's awesome. Your boy, Dodger, like every time I see him, I get really excited. And then I was kind of like talking to someone, and Dodger, Grammy, and Hawkins walked in. And then all of a sudden I like feel something tugging at my shirt, and I look down, and Dodger's like looking at me sideways, like waiting for me to like be excited to see him. And I was like, "Yay!" And yeah, it was awesome. I think he had a really good time.
Yeah, he did.
But if I had to bet, I think he had an awesome time.
I just love how tiny Dodger is, because he like runs at me and I just pick him up, and I'm just like, oh, this is like the size my kids used to be, and so I just get to like
the
throw
day they
him
were
in the
born.
air. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I just get to like throw him in the air and like flop him on my shoulders and make him do a backflip, and I'm just like, this is great.
Multiple.
I look at how he's built. He's gonna grow up and he's gonna be a tall, skinny, blonde Jensen. Like he's gonna be that lanky Jensen that in his like 30s is gonna fill out, but all before that he's gonna be like
yeah, just a big noodle, basically.
Same with Hawkins.
Every time I look at Charlie, I'm like, you are 80% legs. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah,
just those long legs.
Yeah, so I didn't go to that party because I was at an author book fair in Vancouver, Washington here, and so I'm learning something. I've gone to a handful of these events, and every single event has its own personality. Like, the people all just kind of like sort of act a certain way, and I don't know if it's like the location or the event itself or some weird combination. But this time, a strategy that's worked really well in the past to just break the ice and talk to people is having candy on the table. Because like, and it's not like cheap candy. It's like, like dark chocolate and like caramels and stuff like that, right? The book is that I'm trying to sell is primarily the primary audience is like moms or have been moms previously, like busy people and stuff like that. So, the dark chocolate and the caramels are like grandma candy, right? And they totally love it. And everybody loves it. And that's the reason why grandma's cool, right? So this time, no one took the candy, and I would like offer candy to people, and they'd be like, no, and like just walk away. there was one lady, and I was like, hey, can I tempt you with a caramel? And she's like, no. and just like looked at me like I said something horrible, and she just walked away, and I was like, what?
Poor Scott.
Will you scan the QR code? Like,
well, okay. Do you want to read a book, a fantasy book about a mom? Like, no.
You know what you need?
Like,
you need to get the candies that all of our grandmas had.
Oh, so the little strawberry one,
ginger flavored.
the strawberry ones that are only wrapped
sure.
up on one side. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And when you're a kid, you think it's watermelon, but it's strawberry. And then the ginger, they're like kind of strong, but they're like basically like the same thing, but ginger wrapped up in those little candies.
You know, those Werther's originals, the hard
is that what it is? Werther's?
Yeah, but the thing was, like, I always think like, oh, it's such grandma candy. But I had one like a month ago, and I was like, these are legit. Like, these are so freaking tasty. Like, I'm gonna be.
Let me just look at the
grandpa
wrapper
that has them.
Werther's candy original.
And then,
these are caramel.
Yeah,
creamy.
The caramel.
Do you guys
ones?
say caramel or caramel? What's the difference?
I say caramel.
Yeah,
it's just where you're from.
I got made fun of by your family for saying envelope instead of envelope. And I was like,
well,
oh.
You're just so prestigious, Scott.
I didn't know there was a difference between an envelope and an envelope until you said it.
I'll let that slide, but do you say aunt or aunt?
Aunt.
Aunt. I say aunt. Okay.
Okay, good. All right, cool. All right,
okay.
Next subject.
Here, I'll get crucified for this one real quick. So,
war shrag.
Down in the south. So down in the south, it's not a pecan. It's no. It's a pecan in the south, but it's pecan everywhere else. And I
what
remember
about pecan?
I was pecan. Those are losers. Anyways, there was this one grandma that I would visit a lot, and she said peckin. It was a peckin. It was a peckin pie.
I don't like that.
It's not a pecan pie. It's a peckin pie. And I remember just being like, oh, that's going to stick with me forever. And I used to make, like, just kind of joke about it. It's like, yeah, I knew this grandma who would call it peckin pie. And now it's like invaded my brain. And now I say peckin all the time.
Oh, man.
Like, I don't talk about peckins very often, but whenever I do.
Dude, I've got like
I say it.
2 or 3 words that I have ironically said a specific way, you know, just like dumb young kid, cool kid culture that I've just adopted to make fun of, like, ironically. And then it's stuck. But one of them, not one of them, but another like instance of that is I watched Anne with an E, the Netflix show. And I just thought it was so funny how Canadian everyone sounded. And so I just started saying like hosts and scout and stuff like that just to sound Canadian. And now it sticks. Like whenever I see a word, I'm like, yeah, can you come back to the host? I'm like, that was involuntary. I said it. Now it's unironic. I just sound Canadian.
Oh, I have something
funny.
like that. I'm trying to remember what it is.
So I always get obsessed. I don't know why. I'll think about this often. So like if someone says like, oh, he's a saxophonist, I'm always like saxophonist.
Exactly.
Or I think of it like in a better way, like a trombonist. It sounds dumb, so it's trombonist. Or I'll think of xylophonist instead of xylophonist. Pianist.
Penis.
Like, I just think of how to like make it roll easier by combining.
Do you see the word spelled out in your head when you say it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the problem is that I do the same thing. And like I was talking to Paige about it. She's like, I don't see the word in my head when I say it. So therefore I don't play the word game.
That's my one hack that I have to like implement to remember people's names. Like if I don't
spell it,
purposely spell their name, it's like a fart in the wind. It is gone, dude.
Wait, hold on.
Gone.
So do you guys have your own subtitles going on in your head all the time?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
I do. And I enjoy watching movies with subtitles, even if I can hear it just fine.
Dude,
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. I've heard people be like, subtitles are dumb. They distract from the movie. And I'm like, yeah, but I know what they're freaking saying. So guess what? I don't care.
Yeah, especially for watching a movie for the show. Like, I need subtitles.
Oh, me too. 100% me too. Like I'm doing those Spider-Man Noir essays over on our website, plug.
Yeah.
And
I was going to bring that up.
When I'm watching it, it's like, no, I want the subtitles on, not just because I enjoy having the subtitles on, but it's like, no, I want to know what they're saying, therefore I can write about it a lot more accurately.
Imagine Dune without subtitles.
Oh,
Tenet. Actually, you should try watching Tenet without subtitles. Everyone mumbles, and the audio mixing is terrible.
I was about to say Tenet too.
See, that really doesn't bother me if I have subtitles. So, like, maybe if I, yeah.
See, now I want to watch a Quiet Place
that would really
without
bother me.
subtitles.
That would be rough. Like, what would they?
Yeah.
No, I actually did watch the scene with. I did watch it without subtitles this time, just because I wanted to see what it was like. I'd seen the movie enough times beforehand that I knew the whole story, but I really wanted to see the argument between John Krasinski and his daughter. And it was really interesting just how emphatic both of them were with their hands.
Well, there's two different types of subtitles too, because some is like for hard of hearing, so it's like leaves rustling under the footsteps. Like I don't need that stuff. I just want I just need the text for what they say.
So when I think of that, it's Half-Life 2 has like levels of subtitles you can do. And you can do like hard of hearing where it's like footsteps as you're walking around, and it's like gunfires and like radio chatter and stuff like that. And you're like, bro, this is a video game. These are like legit subtitles.
We were watching something the other night, just real quick on that, and it was saying like creepy, ominous music plays. And I was like, oh my God. Like if you were, that must be really tough to be hard of hearing, because the music is what makes a lot of movies. Like, that'd be a completely different experience.
Bombastic music in the John Williams vein plays.
That's what I was gonna say. I lots of times I'll say that I'll be watching the movie and it'll say like, gloomy music, and I'm like, oh no, gloomy music ahead. Like that's not good.
One of my nieces is blind, and so they do like the what do they call it? So my brother, he rips all of his movies that they buy and puts them on his own Plex so that he can download the like blind mouse audio tracks to put along with it. So then whenever they watch a movie, they just have the thing where it narrates also like what's happening. So it's like read the subtitles, the hard of hearing subtitles across. So it's like we were hooked up to her Plex or to his Plex for a little bit, and so we popped on like Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And so the beginning, it's like Shadow the Hedgehog is all trapped in his thing, and it's like the camera pans down on a big water tank. There is a black hedgehog inside the water tank. The hedgehog opens his eyes. And I was like, oh man, I want to just like chill out. Like, I feel like that would be really useful, like detailing a car or like on a long car ride or something.
Yeah. So it kind of reads like the script format of it?
Yeah, so it like tells you the things that are occurring on screen and then lets the people just do their dialogue. So if you've seen the movie once and then you just grab that as an audio file and just listen to it, then you could just like listen to the whole movie.
Well, I was going to transition, but now I have to tell you about this. I actually did this. I was watching a movie on Netflix, and I was going to turn the subtitles on, and there's an option for audio description, and I was like, what? And I clicked on it, and it was just what you're talking about. And I had the idea of like, I bet I could listen to this. So I recorded the audio of the whole movie, put it on my phone, and I listened to it at work. And it's a little hard with a movie you haven't seen ever before, but if you've seen it before, like it's like you're watching it at work. It's really cool.
Bro.
But I'll tell you this, guys. You know what movie doesn't need a lot of subtitles? It's Conan the Barbarian, because there is like no dialogue.
I would love to watch an audio description version of this movie.
Oh my gosh!
What the ever-living heck am I watching moments? Having someone tell it to you at the same time.
You know what would be great? I would love the audio descriptor guide to be like, okay, guys, you won't believe this. So this is what's happening. Like, literally just like, what the fuck? Anyways, he turned into a snake for some reason.
Let me blow your guys' mind with this intro.
Oh, dude, I'm excited for the background music and everything. It's going to be so good.
After his parents are brutally slaughtered and his village destroyed by a snake-worshipping cult leader, a young boy is forced into a brutal life of slavery and gladiatorial combat. Hardened into an unstoppable force of muscle and steel, he eventually gains his freedom and sets out on a blood-soaked quest for vengeance across a mythical, prehistoric continent. Alongside a pair of loyal thieves, he must battle dark sorcery, monstrous beasts, and the hypnotic hold of a ruthless warlord to avenge his family and discover the true riddle of steel. This is John Milius' 1982 epic Conan the Barbarian.
Dude, I want to go downstairs and watch it all over again now. Okay, so Ren, this is on your list. Why did you grace us with this beautiful film? Have you ever even seen this before? Have you heard about it before?
I've never seen this movie. I have no story or any reason as to why I put it on this list, but it just felt right. It went perfectly with the theme. Mm-hmm. I figured it was time. And yeah, the only thing I knew about it, the only thing was that this is the movie where the YouTube clip of Arnold wielding his sword in circles, but someone geniusly replaces the sword with glow sticks and added Darude's Sandstorm to it. So it was amazing to finally check this off the list. But yeah, I wouldn't say...
I sat and watched that video on repeat probably 10 times before it got old. Yeah. I was like, yeah. 15 minutes later, I'm still watching this. It's still good.
Dude, I saw that in like 2004. That's like an early internet, like YouTube era, like video. Anyways,
good times.
But yeah, wouldn't say I'm a Schwarzenegger fan. You know, my most memorable thing I've ever seen him in was I watched Pumping Iron at my buddy Javid's house, and that is an incredible documentary. Jingle All the Way. I remember us watching that, having it on VHS. That movie sucks. And I recently watched, probably the last 3 years. Finally, now that I'm 37 years old, Terminator 1 and 2.
There you go.
But yeah, also, just another note, but I remember always going and seeing at the video store, I think it was Hollywood Videos, where I'd always see the cover for The Sixth Man, which is Schwarzenegger on the cover with like the eyeballs, and I don't know.
It's actually a decent movie.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Like,
it looks terrible.
It's not like amazing, but it's like worth having in the like, I thought about that again movie list.
Yeah.
See, Ren, you're missing out on his best role of all, which is Mr. Freeze in the Batman and Robin movie.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, everyone remembers that.
It's time to cool off.
The best thing about that is you're watching it, and Batman and Robin is a terrible film. It's so bad, it's so good. Like, I want to go watch it right now. But one of the best things about it is you're watching Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, and you're like, this guy is having such a fun time. Like, he loves this role, and he's just having a good time. That's what I love about it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think in my mind, I thought this movie was just kind of like a joke, like a parody of itself, which it's not that. But this movie kicks ass. That's like the difference.
I think we're
this movie's
a really
awesome.
hard time articulating what this movie actually is, because it's way different than I was expecting too.
Well, okay, I was just gonna bring this up. So we're all like Harrison. You'd never seen this, correct?
Yeah. So I'd never seen this movie before.
And Scott, I assumed you had seen it, but you have not. Okay, yeah, this is a beloved film. I think this movie has changed a lot of lives that maybe we just aren't really aware of because it came out before our time. 1, 2, like I was thinking about kind of pulling back to our Spartacus episode, but we were talking about Hollywood. Yes. Oh, were you going to bring this up?
No. You keep going, but I literally wrote down, I was like, this feels like Spartacus. Like this has a Spartacus feel to it for some reason.
Well, I think what's really cool to put in the context of all this is that like when Kirk Douglas, right? Yeah, not Michael. Yeah, Kirk Douglas in Spartacus at the time was like the most jacked Hollywood star ever. Like it was blowing everyone's mind. Jump to 22 years later, it was kind of the same difference between that and then Arnold Schwarzenegger like showing up to Hollywood. From what I've gathered. I wasn't alive during this period, but Schwarzenegger is the bar. Like he set the bar and no one's surpassed
that guy
him
is the most ripped human I've ever seen in my life.
Dude, he's not even just ripped. He's like a spirit. Like there's a few shots where it shows his face. He looks like a different species. Like he looks like a
especially with his wig.
His face it reminds me of in Princess Mononoke where they see that weird face on the deer. They meet eyes. There's a few shots. That scene where it cuts from young Conan
and he
into
looks
adult
up.
Conan on the Wheel of Pain, and when he looks up, he looks like an alien. He looks completely different.
I have to tell you my note during that scene. I wrote down, well, it's not young Toto to old Toto transition, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close to Cinema Paradiso, I think.
Pretty good. Pretty freaking good.
What was it? My alien, that face, Arnold, is when he's sitting there talking to that guy over the campfire, the wizard, and he just has a hunk of chicken in his hand, and he just looks over at him, does a side eye and smiles. And I was just like, this guy, that face is burned in my brain now.
I have, I think, an ultimate question to really kick this off. So, Ren, let's start with you, and then Harrison, I have another question for you after Ren's.
Okay.
Ren, have you ever punched a camel?
I regret to inform you that I have never punched a camel.
Big regret.
Yeah. I had the opportunity once, too. But no.
Or an emu, at least. Those damn emus.
No, those would kill you.
Oh, okay. Harrison, now for you. Have you ever punched a camel?
I wish so hard. And you know what? I think I'm going to get a sandbag and start doing some jabs, and I'm just going to put a picture of a camel on it so I can try and live that moment.
There were a couple of times in this movie where I was like, I've genuinely never seen that before.
Oh, absolutely.
That was a thing that was done as seriously as possible. The subject matter was way out there, but man, they played it so straight.
Yeah. I have a lot of questions about John Milius that we can hash out, but I want to come back to one thing. One other thing that I did know about this movie, because on the internet, I've seen other people tear down James Earl Jones, his hair in particular, this wig that he's wearing.
I'll give him that.
And I saw one, this girl was like, he's basically doing whiteface because black people don't have hair like that, and I can't believe they did this. This is aged so badly, and the 80s sucked. Just raging.
Please tell me they deleted that comment. Oh my God.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I see it. I get what you're saying. But now I'm seeing the movie, and then you learn that this takes place in the Hyborian Age, which is a pre-Atlantis alter universe, which means he's a different race of human, which makes his hairstyle freaking awesome and perfect. And I don't want any more slander on James Earl Jones's hair in this movie. Amen. So everyone can relax.
Amen.
Just wanted to settle that.
Can we just talk really quickly about how weird it was to see James Earl Jones be a bad guy? Because I was like, well, I mean, he's Darth Vader. He's kind of like the quintessential bad guy. But I don't really think of James Earl Jones and Darth Vader as the same person. When I think of James Earl Jones, I actually think of Mr. Merkel from The Sandlot.
Yeah.
And he's a nice guy.
And he's basically the same character in Field of Dreams. So yeah, he's always the older dad who loves baseball.
Yeah.
See, it's funny. When I think of James Earl Jones, I really don't ever think of him in a live action movie. I always just think of him sitting in a recording booth, doing the voice of Mufasa. And Mufasa, that's all I think of. I don't really think of him as a live action actor. So watching this and seeing him be a bad guy, I was like, this is awesome. I am really glad because I think he pulled off that role extremely well.
Dude, it's iconic.
That cult leader, the way he talks, it's amazing.
He's so calm and unfeeling. It's dead behind his eyes. Mm-hmm. It's so crazy. He does such a good job. It made me frightened of him.
Okay, you said his eyes. We got to talk about the scene because I rewound it 3 times, showed my son, and then showed my wife. I was like, just look at this. Just watch this. But the scene where he meets eyes with young Conan's mom, and he like basically like hypnotizes her. She's about to take a swing at him, and his henchmen are just standing there motionless. That part's crazy because I think the most powerful part about it is not only when you see the raggedy hair like doll like head fall,
Oh my gosh, dude, wild.
Which was effective, but right after when young Conan looks over at his hand and she just slips out of it and he's like still looking at his hand. That is like the character going through this horrific transformation that'll completely alter his life. And it just slipped away. Dude, I don't know. I thought that was really
What did
cool.
the wizard narrator say right after that? It was like, he had a rough life. Or something. I was like, understatement.
Yeah.
No, okay. So I didn't
awesome.
I didn't actually comprehend that he was like hypnotizing her. I don't know what I was like. What is going on? So I'm watching this scene and I'm like, I watched it and I was like, this is taking forever. What is going to happen? And then finally he cuts her head off. You get that great head drop, which is crazy. And I was like, okay, hold on. I rewound it. And I watched how many cut transitions were between him and her looking back and forth at each other. They did 10 takes just within that section. And I was like, dear heavens. Like my opening line for this movie was going to be like, yeah, I'm so glad this 6-hour movie is over. Because, oh my gosh, like it's such, especially that scene. I was like, this is so long. And I feel like they could have shrunk it down. But no, that scene is pretty powerful. A couple notes I had on just that opening part, like I got like flashbacks to like Willow and the Northmen, like when they're raiding the village and killing everybody in there. I was like, I've seen this
wargs
before,
or whatever they were.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
dogs.
it is really sad that families can be torn apart by something so simple as a pack of dogs.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Rottweilers with armor,
with like backpacks.
Well, I mean, I will say this. Also, the mom didn't do a very good job of hiding. Like, she like runs out of the blacksmith thing, and then she like hides behind this tiny little sapperling tree that is like just like look like it just got planted that very day. She's like trying to hide behind it, and then once everything's settled, she's just sitting there in the middle of this field, basically, like watching everything happen and not running away with her son. I was like, move, go, hide, do something.
I think that could probably be generalized to the whole movie. The three main characters are supposed to be thieves, and they never hid once, though they were quite sneaky.
My other note I had for that scene was there's so much hair, like especially on just like the barbarians and all them coming in and raiding. They took off their helmets and I was like, there's so much hair on their head. It's giant. It's huge. I love it.
I love how the two henchmen, the cult henchmen, were just absolute meat sticks. Like, they were the most like chunky, meaty, hairy 80s dudes. I was like, man, they're not pulling punches with the meat stick in this movie. Arnie is the main character.
Weren't they friends with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Weren't they his like workout buddies?
There was like 4 or 5 actors in this movie that are straight out of like the wrestling world or the bodybuilding world, or one guy was like a surfer. Bunch of names that I wasn't familiar with, but back in '82 they were like the shit.
I love it.
By the way, one more thing on Thulsa Doom's death stare with his eyes. I feel like you could make that like a billion different hilarious memes. Just like when you let your wife down. Just the way his eyes, and they kind of like look down and then look away slowly. Just it's so funny.
He does that like backwards turn while he's like keeps his eyes on her the whole time. He's like,
yeah. He looks into your soul until like the side of his cheek covers you, like the line of vision. Like he's staring at you the whole time. It's incredible. But yeah, so I want to bring up one thing about John Milius. So this is the second movie that we've done by him. The first one was Red Dawn. Like there are really cool shots in this movie, but everything sort of just feels John Milius-y in a way that I can't really describe. Like it's almost beautiful cinematography, but it doesn't quite get there for me. Like I'm not enamored with it, but he still finds a way to like make it kick ass. And I don't know how to put any of that into words. I'm just speaking out of my heart right now. But I want to know what you guys thought about this, or if you see his style.
So I think this film is actually really dang good, but I think it has some problems that I'm kind of choosing to ignore, but they really are there. And
there's lots of things to ignore.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think one of the biggest problems that hurts his directing style is the editing in this movie. I think that's one of the things that messes it up the most. I feel like kind of the two main things about it is they just stretch out so much. Like every traveling montage in this movie is like just way too long. Like if you have like 10 clips, it's like, okay, you only need like 3, but they have like 10 different shots of them traveling between places. And I feel like it kind of almost like, I don't know, cheapens the great shots that are in there. And it's like, well, no, we just need more. We need more shots. And it's like, no, like, let's simplify this a bit.
I want to add to it as well that, okay, so Lord of the Rings did this really, really well. You always had a sense of space of where you were in this world that doesn't exist. You always felt like when somebody traveled, they went the distance they were supposed to have traveled to get to that new place. But this movie, it was like there was lots and lots of shots, but then you weren't quite sure how far away they actually went. Like for example, how far away was the like snake cult main headquarters compared to where the pyre place where the wizard was staying? And, like, was that like a week's journey or like an hour away like it kind of changed? Did they escape earlier today? Did she die earlier today? How long did they spend building up the fortifications before he came back to retaliate? Stuff like that. And so there's a sense of scale that's weird and a sense of distance that's really weird. That it's just like, and now we're watching one more shot of somebody moving across distance and we don't have any context other than they're moving somewhere.
That's really interesting because I can't wait to talk about Sandal Bergman. But when her and Conan fall in love, I have no idea how long that's for, but it seems to be a long amount of time. But yeah, that's a really good point. I think you basically just helped me piece something together. I kind of feel like Red Dawn is like that too.
Yeah,
I agree. Maybe I should rewatch it. But yeah, you're right. There's it makes you like. There's lots of scenery. I remember talking about that in Red Dawn in particular, and some shots in this are really cool looking, especially some of the set pieces with the Mountain of Power or that big castle in the end. But yeah, that's really interesting. Okay. Yeah, John Milius, I don't think that's his strength.
Yeah. That's not your strength.
From what I've seen so far.
You can't figure out traveling montages. That's what it is.
Sense of scale.
Well, I was going to say one more thing. I think back to what you were saying about like the long drawn out traveling scenes, that is a good and great spot to spotlight Basil Palladoros's soundtrack, which is really great. Like I can't like recall it or like sing it in my head again. It's not like catchy, but it's great.
It's like there's so much rolling and building, and it's very dynamic. There was a number of times where I was like, what is occurring on screen doesn't really match the music, and then it would like 10 seconds later. So it was like he was building up to a thing. And so it was like the music was helping me feel what I should have been feeling that the cinematography didn't quite capture.
Also, kind of Mozart-y. I don't know if you guys got that vibe. Or
there was one shot where I was like, this just sounds like classical music as opposed to like a movie soundtrack. Yeah. That was kind of, I think it might have been the first time inside the orgy, like snake orgy thing or whatever. But and I was like, where they're sitting there eating hands. That was cool.
Dude, that was bonkers.
That was nuts.
And I think another problem with this film, because we have this combination of like, it's not edited very well. Lots of things are drawn out. And then there's large chunks of this film where there's very, very little dialogue. Like there's not a lot of talking in this movie, especially for the first hunk of it. I would say the first like 30 minutes of it. like Conan doesn't even speak for a lot of this film. I actually saw, I don't know if this is true, but I saw someone make a comment that Conan never actually speaks to the gal. He never actually talks to her, except for when they first meet, when he's like, "You're not a thief," or whatever they say. But like in their romantic scenes, when they fall in love and when they're making love and all that, like he never actually says anything to her. Which is crazy to think about, and you and I can get checked on that. But the thing is, like, so we have a combination of like there's long drawn out scenes where we don't have any dialogue, then combined with bad editing and long travel montages, and I think it just makes you look at the movie in a different way. Like there's nothing really for you to focus on, so it just kind of makes it a big mess. You know, it's just kind of stuff's happening on screen. None of it's like pulling you in to make you focus on something. And I think that's the main problem with this movie, I would say.
That's a really interesting. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know that I agree with your takeaway from it, but I 100% agree with what you saw. And I hadn't noticed that before because I like the fact that Conan doesn't say much. I think that it fits his character really well. And I know like about 1 inch about the original like graphic novels and stuff and the stories for Conan the Barbarian. Apparently they're a lot better. My brother's way into them. He really likes them. They're like super high quality apparently. And this movie is like super campy in comparison. But one thing that I think is really interesting about these movies, or this movie in particular, is that it has all of the elements of just a campy 80s action flick. But then there's no purposeful campiness. It's like everything is played straight, like they're trying to make the original Northman or something like that, without knowing how to make something serious that is fake and that meaty, you know?
In 1982.
In 1982.
Yeah.
And so everything's practical effects except for like hand-drawn special effects on the film itself periodically.
We should do that more. I thought it looked awesome.
It did look awesome. But you know, it's like, all right, we need you to chop the head off of a snake. So then they just give Arnold Schwarzenegger a sword or an axe, and he just goes and chops the head off of a snake. You know, it's like, oh, we need you to punch a camel. So they put a camel there, and he punches a camel. And we need you to...
While he's like tripping on something. I don't know what he thinks.
We need to go have sex with a succubus. And so he does. And then he throws her into the fire. And like...
Okay,
like
hold on.
Stuff just keeps happening.
All right, you brought this up. We're going to dive into this succubus scene because I
had no idea what I was going to expect at all.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
I could smell it coming from a mile away.
Well, I knew they were going to have sex.
It was too perfect.
I knew they were going to like do the dirty, but what I did not expect was halfway through doing the dirty, she was going to turn into a werewolf and he was going to punch her and throw her into a fire. Like that was not in the cards.
Dude, okay, I'm going to run you through my whole thought process during this scene because it's crazy. I love that he walks up. She comes out of her little hut and she's like wearing like the newest trend, like clothing in like Savage Land like style. It's kind of crazy. And she's all like, hey, do you want to come like warm yourself by the fire? And I'm just like,
and
okay.
He's like, no.
Yeah.
And she's like, you don't want to warm yourself by my fire?
Yeah, come on, please. And then she's like crawling around on the floor. I love when she throws that like dust in the fire. It like pops, and you can see Conan going, oh, like you can see his eyes get like really big, and he gets like a little scared. And yeah, then when they start having sex and she starts like prophesying, she says, Zamora! She says that really loud. And I was like, I can't have that pop in my head at any point in my future. But yeah,
I just wrote down, I was like, is this my like new movie crush? And then the next line was like, never mind. Like, no longer into you. That was a quick turnaround. That was terrifying.
No, yeah, the transition was terrified, and then I literally just like screamed and my eyes went huge when he just like chucks her in the fire, just full on like huffed her in there. She bursts into flames, and then she like flies off in this like orb of light or something.
While
like,
cackling. Yeah.
Dude, so nuts. And okay, and then here we go. I have a director's note about this scene, because when you watch that, and then if you put it in the context of the rest of the film, there is no reason for that scene. Like, it doesn't lead to anything, from what I can tell. Like, there's no like, oh, like this, because he did this, X, Y, and Z can now occur. Like, none of that happened. But here's a director's note I have on it. The hot witch that Conan has sex with, foretelling his future and telling him where to find Thulsa Doom, and the fact that she has that guy chained up outside her cabin is relevant to the plot and advances the story, apparently. The director's commentary states that the intent was to foreshadow Conan stealing some kind of magical power over fire from her, something that subtly comes up twice more in the late parts of the film, igniting Valeria's funeral pyre in a spectacular explosion of heat in a place where the wizard warns no fire will burn, and putting a torch into Thulsa Doom's mountain of power. So it's just so funny that it's like, okay, hold on. So that scene where he's about to set Valeria's pyre, set her on fire, and the guy's like, oh, no fire will burn here, and then it actually happens. That was supposed to be significant. Like, that was supposed to be like a big thing.
Yeah,
he was able to do
I guess I just assumed it was like every other magical thing in this movie that it was like, all right, that's here.
It just happened.
Yeah.
So I think, and there's another scene like this where something occurs and it's like, that doesn't matter. So I think that's just another reason why this movie is rough. Is it's just like things happen and they're either not explained, or there's no way to connect the succubus scene and the funeral pyre. Like, there's supposed to be a connection there, but it doesn't exist.
Yeah, and I just want to know, like, honestly, does it matter?
Does it matter?
Because
that's a good question.
I'm trying to decide if this movie is an 80s action movie, or if it's supposed to be deeper like The Northman. I don't know what it's supposed to be. It just is what it is. And it's either campy or it's not, and I can't decide.
If you enjoy watching our show on Spotify or YouTube and you want to be more involved, we encourage you to please come check out our Patreon community. Not only does our Patreon community get every episode you see on YouTube early, fully uncut, uncensored, and ad-free, but we're also doing Patreon-exclusive episodes, as well as Q&As, video clips, and access to our entire film catalog. It's a lot of fun and a nice way to say thanks for the cost of a cup of coffee every month. Now, back to the show.
That's hard. That's a good question, honestly, because it's definitely more on the campy side for me.
It does feel that way. I wrote down, I was like, is this a coming of age story or a revenge story? And I think it's revenge.
More revengey.
It's kind of not as, yeah.
Oh, man.
Which I think is why we're all getting Northman vibes, because that's one of the greatest revenge films ever made.
So I asked myself this question as well. I was like, okay, is this a revenge story? And I'm like, well, I think it pretty straightforward is one, because he's really shooting to kill Thulsa Doom. And I had this really funny moment. So at the very end, he kills Thulsa Doom, and it's like, okay, he got his revenge. Then as he's walking down the steps, he picks up that torch or that thing. He swings it around. He lets it go, and it's flying towards the top of the mountain to set it on fire. And it misses, and it hits like the side of the building and falls on the ground. And I watched that, and I was like, whoa, is this like sort of like a revenge isn't satisfying kind of a story? Was him missing the temple, was that supposed to like signify the fact that it's like, yeah, you got your revenge, and guess what? It's hollow. It doesn't matter anymore. And then the temple ends up catching on fire. And I was like, whoa, I think this is kind of deep. This is kind of intense. And then I was doing some background information, looking up some stuff. And in the director's commentary, they're like, yeah, actually, he just missed and we couldn't redo the shot. So
yeah, that's what
we had to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, what? Like, I thought that was supposed to be a moment, and it wasn't. It technically isn't a moment. It's a moment for me, because that's how I took it. But it's not as deep as I thought it was.
I mean, despite the fact that he missed, Also, he was at the bottom of those giant freaking stairs and hucked that thing, and it went all the way up there. So Arnold Schwarzenegger is still the beast, even if his aim was off by 1 degree.
As if we could do any better.
I'd make it 3 stairs.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting, just kind of going into like what type of movie this is. But I think one of my favorite like movie tropes, or just like a reoccurring thing that happens in movies, is when a character goes through the transformation of like facing their fear. Like I clocked this, but Conan expresses that he's afraid of snakes, or he doesn't like them early in the beginning. And as we talked about, I didn't know there was going to be any snakes at all in the movie, let alone Thulsa Doom was a snake. So anyways, that happens. He conquers his fear. Dude. I freaking love it. But then I think one of the main reasons I don't know if you guys have seen It, the TV version or the movie, but each kid in that movie faces their fear, and there's just anyways, I think that I love identifying that in other movies. But we haven't talked about her much, but Sandal Bergman, who plays Valeria, she is my favorite part of the movie.
Amen.
And she doesn't say a lot, I guess, and she dies, and like she doesn't really.
Does she die though? She comes back for that one moment that was beautiful,
gloriously sparkly, and
yeah. But she's interesting because her arc is more psychological. Like she starts out as a fearless, independent, she's a thief who lives entirely by her own rules. And then her biggest fear isn't like monsters or bad guys or swords or anything. It's attachment. She's terrified of giving up her freedom and becoming vulnerable. I think that's what it comes down to. But that's sort of the paradox of falling in love with someone or finding that person that you want to spend your life with. But then that all happens. She quickly falls in love. And then suddenly her world shifts. And then she develops a fear of losing him. And then that fear gets tested when Conan, he's like getting crucified on the tree of woe. Or no, it's when he's tied up and he has all the tattoo writings on his face and she's like fighting off those animated demons and stuff.
So awesome, by the way. Love that.
Yeah, that part is sick. But ultimately,
also another
she dies.
one of those scenes like, all right, that's happening now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm glad it's happening, but this is happening now.
Yeah. But in the end, she conquers her fear. And then basically what I was reading online, but like that was sort of her proving that her devotion to him is stronger than her fear of dying. And she has that quote, "Do you want to live forever?" And it's a callback. Yeah, I think she says that after she saves his life, but it's a callback to when she says it earlier in the movie too.
Yeah.
And
she uses it as like the opposite of like a YOLO, like, hey, you're not going to live forever. Like, hey, do you want to live forever? Yep. Come on. And like jumps off buildings and dives into danger and stuff like that. So it's her facing her demons by just saying F it and going for it.
Yeah. Well, I read one thing and they were like, she's telling him that a long, safe life spent hiding from vulnerability or running from danger is meaningless. She sacrificed herself for the man she loves. She isn't losing. She's actually winning by doing this. She's choosing a short, epic life of absolute freedom and love over an eternity of fear. That's pretty cool. Just, I don't know, maybe John Milius didn't intend for that to be that deep. I don't know, but I caught on to it. I thought that was cool. But that actress, she has a lot more depth than I was expecting at first. For some reason, I think I just thought she was just like giant, so they hired her. But she's really great in this movie.
Her pyre and for her funeral there, I think goes down as the second largest fire I've ever seen in a movie. Only second to Sorcerer.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty big. Very windy that day when they filmed that, by the way.
No fire can catch on that hill.
That's true. I wanted to bring this up because I feel like it's actually kind of a cool, deep moment in this film is when Conan and the other thief, I don't know how to pronounce this name. It's Subutai?
Yeah,
Subutai. They're sitting there, and that's when Arnold's eating that chicken and giving us that really cool look. And they're sort of talking about the gods they worship, and they're like, "Oh, hey, who do you worship?" And he's like, "Oh, I worship Crom," and so on and so forth. And Subutai talks about his god and everything. And they start talking like, yeah, my Crom, he could totally beat up your god. Like 100%. Like 1v1 Smash Bros, like my god would totally win. And I just
my dad's stronger than your dad.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know, I just found it a really interesting concept where, you know, here on Earth where we live, it's like, you know, most of the world worships basically the same god, just in different ways. And I just find it interesting that this world, it's like, no, you kind of worship the god that's going to give you the most back, or the one that's going to strengthen you the most. And if it doesn't work out, then to hell with you. I'll go worship somebody else. And it's just this really interesting concept. Like, I'm going to hop around until I find the right god that is going to fit to help me to achieve my goals. And, you know, I don't know, that just doesn't happen in real life, really. And I don't know, it was just interesting watching them talk about it that way.
Come, I don't pray. I've never prayed to you before.
Yes.
I don't really have the tongue for it.
It's so good. My gosh.
There was one part that was kind of brutal with Arnold. He actually does pretty good acting, but he's like, you killed my dad, my mom, my people. And then Thulsa Doom's standing there and he's like, that must have been when I was younger. And it's kind of like defeating how he doesn't even really remember it. Like, it wasn't this traumatic of thing in his life. It was just another day at work, basically. I don't know. I was like, oh, man, that makes it sting more for some reason.
Yeah, okay. Try and help me remember this. There's a movie like that where, yeah, it's basically a revenge story. Our main character goes into the bad guy's like, yeah, you killed my father. You killed my son. And the guy just goes, I don't even remember who you are. And I feel like that's a movie we've watched. I'll have to rack my brain for that. But that's always such an interesting pull when they do it in movies, because it's like, yeah, I guess to the main bad guy, it's like, I don't care about you.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking
Who
about
are you?
that.
Why are you here?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, wow, that's pretty ruthless. And something that's so important to one person can mean nothing to someone else.
Yeah. I wrote down one of my favorite things about this movie is how Subutai and Conan run from village to village. Like, I love the running scenes. For some reason, it's funny.
Does it always smell like this? How does the wind get in here?
How does the wind get in here?
And then we need to mention, because last week we did the Seventh Seal, but Max von Sydow in this movie is just like full of one-liners. I didn't write any of them down, but the only thing I wrote down was he has an awesome like metal Santa Claus hat. I don't know if you guys took notice of that, but he has a cool hat.
Was he the king?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was the king, and actually he has a line that I connected with because of how I felt about the end, about being an unsatisfying revenge story. He actually says this line: there comes a time when the jewels lose their sparkle, the gold loses its luster, and the throne room becomes a prison, when the love of your child is all that matters. He says something along those lines.
Nice.
And I just thought about that line when I had my reaction to the ending. I was like, oh, okay. It's all connecting. It all makes sense. And then the director's commentary kind of ruined it. But
yeah. Did you watch the director's commentary?
No, there's just a lot of notes on it. Apparently, the director's commentary is with the director and with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I watched it.
And you watched? I watched like a quick the best of, and it's a lot of them like talking about just what's happening on screen, basically. A handful of misogynistic.
Oh yeah.
sayings.
Oh, they're just stoned talking and watching a movie. It's
exactly.
Funny. Yeah,
that's really how it feels. Like just a lot of like, oh man, she's so hot. I can't believe I got to be naked with her. That was crazy.
Yeah.
like just things like that.
It's funny because Arnold really talks it up. He's just like, oh, that's a great shot. He's like, that's so funny, and he's just like, oh, remember this, and he's like, that's another great shot. Who blah blah blah, and he'll he's the governor of California. Like, he's building everything up, but he over exaggerates a bit. But it's just
Schwarzenegger is a really funny guy to me. Like, he's so
too.
easy
Yeah,
to impersonate. And he's so iconically him, but I think that he's just fine with it. He's I've got a funny accent. I'm really, really big. I know how to work really hard. So, what are you going to do? I feel like when you're that big and strong, you can just kind of do whatever. And nobody's going to be like, hey, man, get out of here. Because you're like, shut up, I'll punch you, And I don't know. it seems pretty funny just how goofy the guy is and everything. I think your comment about him just as Mr. Freeze is probably closer to the Arnold Schwarzenegger that's real than, you know, what you see him in where he's like the Terminator and he has to be like, I'm the big machine or whatever.
Apparently when he was governor of California, he actually had Conan's sword like in his cabinet display, and the inscription on the side of it says, "Suffer no guilt, ye who wield this in the name of Crom." And apparently he was in his office, and I'm like, that's pretty badass, actually. Like,
he should have just sat there at the desk with his like hand on with big old beard, like ending shot.
I'm just sitting there. What was I actually have a note that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sadal Bergman, they did all of their own stunts. And part of the reason was they couldn't find stunt people to like match their bodies, basically. Like, it's like, we can't have a stunt double do this because it'll be so obvious that it is a stunt double.
Can you imagine the casting call for this movie? It's like, you need to be like 6.5 feet tall minimum, extremely attractive in every physical way, articulate, and like you have to be smart, hot, like so ripped. Like, how many people in the world are there that fit that description? And like the Archer buddy is like this little small weak guy, but if you look at him in isolation, that guy's ripped too.
Sandal Bergman. I'm really perplexed by her because like I see her and like never been into like tall chicks, and then the movie's over and I'm like, Valeria was pretty awesome. I like keep thinking about her, and then I like rewatched it again. I was like, oh my god, she's beautiful. And then I sent that message to you guys, but yeah, I'd throw my life away at this point. I'm fully converted. Sandal Bergman fan. I'm in.
Early entry for our next Cinema Slime Awards already.
Yeah,
baby.
Running away with it right now.
Another scene that I was actually really impressed with was kind of that final confrontation between Conan and Thulsa Doom.
Yeah.
When he walks through the curtains and they just start talking, and Thulsa Doom, he's like really, really manipulating him. Like, he's really being like, he's like, you know, yeah, I gave you the strength. The person you are right now, it's because of me. I made you the way you are.
Such a cult thing.
Oh no, it's crazy. Like, honestly, okay, look, I watched that and I was like, that might have been as good as that scene in Devil All the Time when Tom Holland's character meets up with Robert Pattinson.
Oh yeah.
Like, I got original. Yeah, exactly. No, I got a very similar vibe to, you know, he's showing up to kill him and he's like, I'm going to do everything I possibly can to manipulate you so that you won't do that. And I think they pulled it off really, really well. And it was very satisfying when Conan actually pushed through maybe the self-doubt or whoa, maybe he's right, you know, falling for all the cult stuff he's talking about. And he actually ended up cutting his head off. And I was like, there you go. Go you.
Satisfying. I like when he throws it and you hear it just roll down the steps. And honestly, what's even better about it is that's what he did to his mom. That's like the ultimate revenge.
Except that Conan took like 5 swings to cut off his head. It was much more brutal. He got to feel it more than once.
A little more bloody.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, Thulsa Doom's like whole cult is like it's just crazy to me. It's like they're all like snake worshiping, they're like killing themselves over it. Like when he talks he's like, hey, like the power of steel, that's nothing compared to my power. And he tells that girl to like fall off of that cliff and kill herself. Like, that was really shocking to me. Like, I was like, whoa.
Okay, so
like, what a display.
I don't have a whole lot of deep philosophy for this movie because I think it is exactly what it is. And you can find, you can find and name all sorts of cool deep philosophies in this. But I think that they're obvious, even though they're powerful. Though there is one, I do have one that I want to bring up. So there's this book written by Major Jason Lowry called Soft War, not Software, Soft War. And it's this guy's like he's in the military. He's like the head of the Space Force, stuff like that. Like he's a big dude in the military, and he as part of so everyone in like as a career military guy, they get sent back to school to get like their master's degree or further their education on something that can help the military. So it's like, we're just going to help you do continuing education, but you have to write your thesis, something that we can use. So he went and he was like, well, I'm interested in cybersecurity, and he's part of like the cybersecurity team and stuff like that. So he went to MIT and did his degree in cybersecurity, and he started gathering all this information from a whole bunch of people, and he built this entire thesis that's like, there's abstract power and then there's like physical power, and both of them are two kinds of forces. And basically, like, we live in our modern world lives in an abstract power kind of scenario. So it's like this snake cult leader. It's like, my power is stronger than anything. Because it's stronger than steel, it's stronger than, you punching me doesn't do anything, because all I have to do is say jump off that, and people jump. People do my bidding and stuff like that. So his thesis was like, there's this abstract power, like people manipulate money or use politics or religion or whatever the case is to get in people's heads to create this like runaway power train. And the counter to that, it's like, in a short term, is less powerful, is the physical power, but it's like a constant, and it keeps the abstract power in check. And so Crom, steel, trust steel, all that stuff is this like, just when the abstract power gets too strong, you can always subvert it by just coming in and cutting its head off. And that's essentially like in this guy's thesis, he was like, the world has never become one giant unified, like totalitarian government, because no matter how hard people try, there's always someone that's like, no, we're not going to listen to you, Hitler or Stalin or whoever. We're going to like beat the crap out of you and stay decentralized and fractured and stuff like that. And so it was one of those, he wrote his thesis as a book and published it. And I read it, and it was one of those, like, it absolutely changed how I saw the world. It was kind of a paradigm shift book for me. So it was really fun to watch this movie and just see his entire thesis in Conan the Barbarian, that it was just straight up like, Conan comes in, it's like, this runaway power is here. I'm just going to cut his head off. And it's really hard, but he does. And then the entire cult like disappears, because it just, the baseline comes in, returns it back to like, you can always default to like, wolves have teeth and deer have antlers to protect themselves from wolves with teeth, and you don't need laws to protect yourselves when you're a wolf or a deer, like anyway, that's as deep as it gets for me, guys.
That's good. That's pretty deep, honestly. One thing I do want to give a shout out to some of the practical effects that are in this movie, because I think they're actually pretty solid.
They're solid.
Yeah. Okay. So like, kind of the weirdest one to me is Thulsa Doom turning into a snake, which fell really out of left field and didn't really serve a purpose, and other than maybe explaining the whole hypnotizing Conan's mother. But he sort of just like transforms into the snake and just kind of dips out for a little while, which is really confusing. But his whole transformation scene I thought was pretty dang good. Like,
it was
pretty solid. Going
back to like American Werewolf in London with like the snout growing. There was just this one transition scene where I was like, his face looks a little weird. And I was like, wait a minute. Is his snout growing? Like, what is happening? And it wasn't until like the end of that scene, just watching it stretch slowly, that I was like, oh no, that's like legit happening. And then the next scene, he was a lizard people. I was like, this is so good.
No, honestly, I love that you had that reaction to it. It's really cool to watch it and be really like uncomfortable and unsure what's even occurring there, because when you're watching American Werewolf in London, like, what's happening to him the whole time. But like, the transition scene is absolutely incredible, of course. But like, this scene, it's like you didn't see this coming, so I feel like it's kind of a unique feeling of like, whoa, like, what's going on? I thought the giant snakes that Conan
was my
wrestled
favorite.
were pretty dang good, especially for back then. Like,
really violent.
I think they did a great job.
It looked awesome.
Yeah.
Stabbing it from underneath the jaw. That part's cool.
Yes.
I like how quickly it went from 0 to the knife is in the body. You know, like the other giant snake fight I've seen is Harry Potter. And that's a whole lot of like CG snake flitting around and them like trying to figure out what to do before, you know, an actual sword shows up and they go killing the thing.
Yeah.
This one, it was just like he turns around and he's like, knife.
Yeah.
Dead. And then I also like the blood that's in this movie. I was like, you know what? It's different. It's a vibe. It's a total different vibe. Like, I feel like out of all the blood I've seen and all the movies I've done, I feel like this is actually a unique kind of look. I don't know what was so different about it. But I was reading a little trivia fact about it was it's the way they make it, it's just like a powder and they add water to get the blood consistency. But apparently when they were filming, it was quite cold, so it would like congeal. And they would mix like vodka in it
coagulate
to try and keep it. They would mix like vodka to try and keep it thin so that it would actually look like blood. And apparently a lot of actors who had to like spit out blood, like they'd have this like vodka blood mixture in their mouth. And they probably got a little.
They're just absorbing it under their tongue for like 5 minutes before they can spit it, as it's like burning the inside of their mouths and their gums.
Exactly.
Sounds brutal.
Simple as that. Yeah, it sounds pretty dang terrible.
I read that there was a bunch of stuntmen that got injured during the filming of this too, so maybe the alcohol wasn't the worst thing for them.
Probably.
Like really quickly on the stunts and the fights and stuff, Arnold Schwarzenegger just has the funniest yell.
It's so funny because we've heard, it's honest, but like I've heard that like impersonation of him my whole life. So to like hear it in like his first movie, you're like, oh my God, this is like the origin of it. Like, get into the chopper, like all of it, like just his voice is so like memorable. Yeah.
We do need to watch Predator. That absolutely needs to go on our list. Predator is so good, guys.
Absolutely.
Amen. I was also shocked at how this seemed to happen a lot in this movie. There was a lot of moments where they have to like sneak in somewhere, so they knock someone out and change outfits. Like, I feel like every character does it in this whole movie, and I liked the fact that Valeria, when she does it, you don't actually see her knock the girl out and change outfits. It just goes. She like walks up behind her, does kind of like a side eye, then it goes to like Conan doing stuff, and when it comes back, it's her just already in the outfit, standing there pretending to be a worshiper. I thought that was so funny. I was like, oh, okay, I guess we already know what happened. I guess we didn't need to see it.
Trust the audience.
Yeah. Okay, guys, on your next rewatch, you gotta watch. There's a scene where Valeria's running from the bad guys, and then she turns back around and she like jumps and like stabs him, and then they do this thing where she stabs this guy, but it shows her shadow on the wall, but the shadow isn't hers. It's like a stunt double, so it looks, and it's like slightly off, and it looks really funny when you notice it. So keep your eye out for it.
That whole scene was. You know that was storyboarded and they worked so hard to make it happen in real life. Because like she's running behind and then this guy just like sails. It's like nowhere. And he just like full on sprints and sails at her and she's like slices him out of the air. And I was like,
yeah, she kicks ass.
That was a pretty badass moment. I just wrote down, I was like, man, they totally like ditched her. Like they like Conan and the other guy, they like run way far ahead and she's just like lagging behind and everyone's trying to kill her. And I'm just like, dude, like, no wonder she got shot by the snake arrow later on.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know that was an option, a snake arrow.
That's on my list of what the hell did I just see? Like when he grabs that snake, I'm like, okay, like what's he gonna do with it? I thought this is what I thought he was gonna do. I thought he was gonna like cast a spell, then he was gonna like bolo whip throw it like at them, and it was gonna like track them to find them. But when he turned that into a bow and arrow, I was like, I can't believe. I'm not too shocked actually, from what I've seen in this movie so far. But that's really wild. Loved it.
There are just so many times in this movie where I was watching it and there was no other reaction than just like blink 3 times in a row and just move on.
No, so my two other moments that I listed under I screamed. That's the topic.
Yeah.
When he bites the vulture's neck.
Yeah.
The vulture's like chewing on
awesome.
him. He just looks over and bites his neck and kills the vulture. I was like, I can't believe that just happened.
I was gonna,
and then
my last night when I was laying in bed at like 3 a.m, just thinking about what I was gonna talk about in this episode. I was either gonna ask you guys if you'd ever punched a camel or if you've ever ripped the gizzard out of a live buzzard with your teeth.
And then my other moment was after the orgy scene and they're fighting Conan in that pit or whatever, that guy with the giant hammer, he smacks that column down, the whole place falls down, and then the guy just stands there like looking at the column and he looks at his hammer and he's like, I can't believe I just did that.
Yeah.
Like, he's like flabbergasted at his own strength. I thought that was hilarious. And I love the fact that hammer got like a workout throughout this whole movie. Like, they actually like use that thing all the time in all the battles. And I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, like the Hobbit level of dwarf using a hammer. He was just like a big dwarf.
So speaking of dwarfs, I was just looking at like other the best of the best top rated fantasy films like this, and it gave me a list, and I was really surprised at how thin of a list it was, because there's really not a lot of movies like this that are like worth watching according to this list, but I'll go through some of these. So
Valhalla.
Yeah, actually that wasn't on here, but The Northman was. Okay, so we got those. Lord of the Rings trilogy, Excalibur, which we almost picked for this, Princess Bride, Pan's Labyrinth for next week, then Princess Mononoke, Dark Crystal, Legend, Dragon Slayer, a movie called Flesh Plus Blood from 1985, The Thief of Baghdad, and Jason and the Argonauts. And 3 of those are like pretty old movies, and most from the 80s and then 2000s and above. So it's kind of spread out, but I was just kind of, I don't know, that seems kind of like a weak list for this genre of movie. So I don't know. Someone needs to step up, and maybe Christopher Nolan will do it later this month. We'll find out. But
golly, when we watched Spartacus, and we just had a lot of our conversation in the Spartacus episode was about people just don't make epics anymore. And I mean, this feels like a low budget epic, right?
Oh yeah.
It's like, it's sweeping, it's big, there's lots of horse riding across the desert. Their sets are small, and so they have to have the camera close. But I think that's really the only thing that makes the scale feel smaller, is just they didn't work on the distance establishing shots as much as, Lord of the Rings does or something like that. But I think, it's July and Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is coming out, and like, I almost don't care how good of a movie it is. I just want to see what does the quintessential auteur movie director today do with the same take. Like, can he make it feel like an epic, or is it going to feel close like most of his movies do? They're like claustrophobic kind of.
Yeah.
Despite being big wide shots, like they're just really intensely plot focused films. And so epics aren't quite like that. And so I'm really, really interested to see what that big budget, huge IMAX sweeping kind of 70 millimeter thing is going to do.
Yeah.
I hope it's awesome.
You know what, Scott? I think you just nailed this movie, and what's quote unquote wrong with it is it's trying to be an epic like Spartacus, showing these big scales, but the budget's small enough, and like you said, they have to keep the camera close a lot of times. Like, we get some really good shots of the cultists like going to the temple, and shots of them at the end when Thulsa Doom actually dies. We get those few shots in terms of the cult, but in the world and establishing it, especially when you were talking about, not feeling the distance between these different places, they don't have they didn't bring the camera back enough for it to feel like a real epic like Spartacus does. So I think you nailed it. I think that's exactly what's quote unquote wrong with the movie.
Yeah. One thing that I've been kind of disappointed in learning more about is just how compromised the movie is in the end. Because like listening to John Milius talk about it with Arnold, but in the beginning they really wanted the narrator's voice to be Schwarzenegger, but his accent was so rough that producers were just like, no, like don't do it.
Can't do it.
So like there's that. And then the ending is where I was just like the whole riding into the sunset with this princess that I don't give a shit about. Like I don't like I live in like I don't I feel like she was just placed in here for the sequel. And then John Milius doesn't even do the sequel. Is that true?
Like is she in the sequel?
There's a girl that isn't Valeria. So I don't know, but like I guess my point is like I didn't care that he found someone else. There was no like redeeming part about the ending to me.
Especially because she sucked.
Yeah, and they like kidnap her from the cult.
Oh, so that's the king's daughter.
Oh, that's right.
So they sent her for the king, and I was like, okay, so they did their job.
Yeah.
That's as far as it went to me.
By the way, so this is kind of crazy, actually. So there's a deleted scene in this, I don't know if they filmed it or if it was going to be, but there was a plan for the king to actually be killed by Thulsa Doom. Like, he sent in agents to actually murder him. And apparently that just they either never filmed it or it was deleted from the original movie or something like that. And I'm like, okay, that seems kind of important, but whatever works.
Interesting. Yeah, there was one thing I didn't catch, but they mentioned it in the commentary, but in the beginning where Conan's running from the dog wolves, he shows them like fending them off or something, and then the next scene he's wearing them on his armor. And I was like, I didn't get that. Yeah, I was like, that's funny. That's implies rad. That he killed him and now he's wearing their fur.
Look, I don't need a lot of reasons to rewatch this movie, but that's a good reason for me to rewatch the movie now.
Yeah.
You know, there's two scenes, one right after the other, that happen in this movie that feel very Northman-like to me. So it's that scene where he falls into the cave and gets his prom sword, from the dead old king.
Yes.
And then immediately after, there's the test with the succubus, where he does die. So in the Northman, the equivalent was he goes down and fights that undead Zelda boss.
Was it the mound bearer or
and gets his wicked, cursed nighttime sword.
Dude, that part's sick.
So cool.
That's so good.
From that, but I was like,
Mound Dweller.
So I was wondering, as we're watching movies that are specifically myths, right? And I think the Seventh Seal probably doesn't fit within this mold quite as well. But going on the rest of the movies throughout this month, is there going to be a sort of est upgrade scene or set of scenes in every one of these movies? I feel like this is a quote unquote trope. Can you call something that's thousands of years old a trope? But but if there's something that's like inherent to the story structure of a myth, like a myth hero's journey like this, is there something explicit like that? And I don't know. We're logging find your sword and have sex with a succubus as number one this month, and let's see if they keep happening. Pan's Labyrinth, etc.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught, speaking of repeating tropes, so Seventh Seal, they're flirting with chicken, and there's a part in here where him and Valeria are like eating chicken and then making out. I don't know if you guys caught that.
I definitely saw that, and I was
like, what are the chances of that? That's
the number of times that Arnie was sitting around a fire just demolishing chicken with rip into it like he was Smee.
So hot.
I will say, I legitly thought that skeleton, when Crom gets a sword, I legitly thought that skeleton was going to stand up and fight him. I was waiting for it.
It almost does.
Because there's a scene, because his head actually moves. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to have a Northman scene in this film. This is so sick. And it didn't happen, but I feel like the succubus kind of took the place of the skeleton knight, maybe. I don't know.
Zelda boss, succubus.
Yeah, actually, Zelda has a succubus in it too. That lady that comes out of the fountain, and I remember as a kid watching that. You
The
go
great
in there,
fairies.
she pops out of the water, and I just remember being like, okay, my door is closed. Mom's not gonna come in here to get laundry. Okay, I. Oh, I gotta tell this. I had the same feeling when you're playing Soul Calibur 2, and you're doing like a regular fight, and Ivy pops up in that outfit where she's wearing literally nothing. And I just remember being like, okay, I have to beat this character really fast before Mom opens the door, because oh my gosh, like that panic, it's real.
That's how I feel when I'm Zero Suit Samus in Smash Brothers.
Bayonetta.
It's like
Don't
so
play too good.
Oh, Bayonetta. Oh, Bayonetta. Here, so I just got a handful of little random notes that I'm going to spout off, and if it goes anywhere, it goes somewhere. The font at the very beginning, I just wrote down, that's a choice. Like, it's like, the font is like swords, basically, for all the credits.
It's like an armored sword font.
Yes.
Yeah. It's wingdings.
I wrote down, is this movie narrated by Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? I thought that was
Oh, yeah.
Yes, actually it was. Now that you mention it, that wizard and Splinter are basically the same person. One's human, one's a rat, but they're the same.
Wait, we got to talk about one thing. How did you guys feel when James Earl Jones literally says, "I am your father" twice? That's crazy. He says it twice.
That's nuts.
And like, this is 5 years after Star Wars. I was like, wow. So he says that a lot. He's everyone's father, and he loves baseball in every movie. Or he's just like a super evil cult leader.
You know,
that's all he's doing. He's
years ago, I was at Walmart and standing there to check my stuff out, and on the little book stand right there next to the checkout was an audio book it was audio CDs set of James Earl Jones narrating the King James version of the Bible. And I was like, I have to buy that. I have to buy that. Like, I would listen to the Bible straight through if it was James Earl Jones, beginning to end.
Awesome.
Amen. I also noted that that Ridley Scott was actually approached to direct this movie. It was right after Alien came out, I think. And he declined, shockingly.
Yeah.
But I think a Ridley Scott directed Conan the Barbarian, that'd be pretty intense.
Now I want the David Lynch version of Conan the Barbarian.
Wow.
I mean,
that makes more sense than Dune.
Kinda. I mean,
kinda.
Can you imagine this movie except like all the weird things were just the whole movie? You know, there was no straight parts. It was just like, okay, more weird stuff's happening.
I like the fact that when they sneak into Thulsa Doom's like temple, they come up on that orgy scene and they like stop for a minute and they're like, oh, we're just gonna watch this just for a little bit. Like
they all looked like slightly amused.
Yeah, exactly. I just thought that was so funny that they paused. And also the reveal that there was like body parts in that soup, like really was like, oh
yeah, that part's
okay. So the scene before where they're like pulling like carcasses down, it took me, I was like, are those like half cut and like chopped up butchered human bodies hanging there? And it took me a while until, you know, once they were like pouring green hands and heads out of the bowl in the orgy, I was like, okay, that is what I saw. But
that is
my favorite line in that whole section was the archer guy. He's like, paradise. But he doesn't say it until someone grabs like a hand and just like bites a finger off a hand. and I was like,
that's wild. That is wild. Oh my gosh. And then my last couple notes here. I just took a note that I was like, okay, there's a lot of like sword stroking, snake worshipping, a lot of penis motifs in this film. I just
very
thought that was
phallic.
Very phallic. I also noted that scene where when they're infiltrating like one of the temples, and I'm like, okay, so you got You have Conan down in the basement fighting like a giant snake while there's a naked woman above him. I'm like, okay, I think I see the imagery here. And then my last note, that scene where he goes up, he's like traveling, and he goes up to that like priest. He says something to the priest, and the priest is like, "Oh, should we go somewhere private?" And they like walk off, and then he knocks him out and like changes, and I'm just like,
steals his dress.
He was totally gonna try and feel Conan up, like 100%. Just it was just wild.
I think this is a fact check thing, but I don't think anyone in the entire movie said Conan's name until the final fight where they're like, Conan! And they yell to him across the battlefield.
That's that's a fact check, but okay, fine. I'll rewatch the movie for a third time. Okay, if you say so.
I have an observation about the John Milius universe, but I learned that
the John Milius extended universe.
Yes. So someone asked Conan, like, what's the best in life? And he goes, to crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of your women. Iconic. This is a Genghis Khan quote. And if you remember from Red Dawn, in the beginning of the film, the teacher's talking about Genghis Khan.
My gosh, Red.
He's a Genghis Khan head.
World.
He's just a funny.
My world.
He's a con head.
He's a con head, yeah.
He's a con head.
All right, so that goes down in my dictionary as a real word, a con head.
Yeah, con head. Yeah, he's just really into that, dude. One of the most horrific human beings to ever grace this earth, who has more offspring than any other human on planet Earth. John Milius is a fan of him.
He had the largest empire that history has ever known.
He killed so many people that the Earth's atmosphere like weakened for like 20 years or something from all the like stench and body decay.
And
like he changed the world with how much murder he did.
Genghis Khan is not his real name. Okay. Here's the thing I learned like last week. Genghis Khan is a title.
Okay.
Khan means king, and Genghis means like uniting, like the ultimate king, uniting king. That's what his name is.
Yeah, the commentary with John Milius, like he doesn't seem like that bad of a dude, but the more I learned about him, I'm like, this guy, like, does he suck? Like, I can't tell what he was like. But him and Schwarzenegger get along awesome. It was really entertaining.
I mean, question, like, not judgingly, but does Arnold Schwarzenegger suck?
yeah, good question. He's interesting.
He's probably have said some questionable things, kind of like that that racist uncle who every now and then just says something. You're like,
I don't have one of those.
That's good.
Actually, that's true. I don't have a racist uncle, but I do have a racist. Watch this out.
Yeah, we only have.
All right, guys, let's jump into our slimy scenes here. Let's
slimy scenes incoming.
If there's an awkward transition here, it's because we said some things that need to be edited that no one will hear about us three. So, anyways,
not even the Patreons will get that one.
We had some Thanksgiving dinner conversations.
Yeah. So, I think it's a good time now. Yeah, now is a good time. Let's transition to our slimiest scenes, and I'm gonna pick. You go first, Harrison.
Okay, man, this is really hard. I'm not gonna lie.
I know this is really hard. You had to pick one.
It's really interesting how some movies it's really hard to pick a slimy scene because there's so many that I think you could say. And there's other movies where I watch it and I'm like, I know that's going to stick with me forever. But this is a movie I'm like, I don't know what's going to stick with me forever. So it's kind of hard to pick. But deep in my heart of hearts, it's going to be the succubus scene.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever forget it. Just the way, the look on Conan's face when she throws that sparkle dust into the fire and it like flashes and he like gets scared for a minute. Like I laughed just so hard when that first happened. And then the image of him just like flipping her in the air so she lands in the fire. I don't think I'll ever forget it. So
pretty awesome.
I'm gonna give it to that scene. In terms of my rating for this movie, This is another hard rating. So I think what I'm going to say is this, because this movie does have problems. And while I'm excited to watch it again, I think that I am going to like turn it on and be like, okay, I have to remember that there's some rough parts in this movie. So this is my rating. I'm going to give the movie a 3.5, but I'm going to watch it like it's a 4.5. I'm excited. I'm like excited to watch this movie, but I know it's not all that. I know it's not an incredible film, really. Like in terms of like it is an incredible film, though. It really is.
No, there's a lot of great things about it.
Yeah. The good washes out the bad for sure, but I just know there's gonna be a moment on my rewatch and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the part where it drags like forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
You go next, Scotty.
I think the slimiest scene is probably the slime dinner with Hans green gack in the
That part is
orgy
nasty.
and that guy turning into a snake. That was, I just kept going like, and there's just more stuff happening.
It's still going.
It's just still happening. Like, and that's probably going to stick with me. I think basically, more generally, anything with the cult, it just how unnatural it felt.
Yeah.
I was like, you guys have no reason to be here. There's no reason for you to be in this cult, but you are for plot reasons, and it just felt really weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's probably going down. I'm with you, Harrison. I think I'm giving this a 3.5. It's not a 3 and it's not a 4. So it's gotta be a 3.5. I will probably never watch this whole movie again, but I will look up individual scenes a lot.
Yeah.
You know what?
Definitely.
You know what? I think I'm gonna watch it again, but I know, like in 5 years, I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm just gonna spend like an hour watching Conan the Barbarian clips. I can see that. Yep.
You know, it's kind of funny because like when I got done watching it, I was just like, whatever. Like there's some cool stuff, and then I started thinking about it more and more. I was like, okay, it's actually pretty awesome. And then I watched the director's commentary with Schwarzenegger, and then like I became like way like higher.
You became a Conan head.
Yeah, kind
of. A Conan head. A Conan.
I was
head.
like, I just kind of like knowing all these behind the scenes things, and like it's just funny. And there's things that suck about it, and there's things that are like really awesome.
I also want to add to what I just said that I basically loved this movie. I really did. Like the whole movie, I was like, why and what am I watching? And like, just like squinty eye looking at the movie the whole time. But I genuinely had a really good time watching it. And I don't want it to be any different. I want it to be exactly what it is. And I just want it. And now I want to go read the Conan books. That's what I want to do.
Me too, actually. Honestly, and I more than likely will. I'm on a big comic book graphic novel read kick right now, so I'll probably get on it.
Yeah, those look interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm basically with you guys as far as everything. First, so slimiest scene. Okay, we touched on it, but I think we have to at least mention the opening credits because it's freaking awesome. Like the font you mentioned, but like just the creation of the sword. I mean, that's what the movie is all about. The riddle of the steel. Like, it's just kind of like the basis.
The blue
for the story.
Screen sky, just like behind his dad.
Yeah, his dad. Yeah.
I just noted, I was like, this kid is so disinterested in what his dad is talking about. That's the vibe I got.
Yeah. Okay, so
you just drew unicorns on your math test. What's going on?
So there's the Tree of Woes scene. That part's pretty cool.
Okay.
You took
where
the
did they
witch
find that
sex
freaking
scene.
tree?
Yeah, that part's tight. That's actually a huge part. That's just basically like his coming of age, like the origin of his character in the comic books. From what I might be wrong on that, but I think like the Conan story starts off in the Tree of Woes. Maybe I might be lying to everybody listening. Okay, I'm toggling between the James Earl Jones, the eye scene, and just the sword wielding scene when he's just like posing. He's kind of holding it behind his head and like holds it. That part is so freaking cool.
It was pretty cool.
He's great in this. And well, I wouldn't say he's really good in this movie.
Probably my favorite
Schwarzenegger does a great job.
Arnie movie. If Predator might be,
yeah, definitely for me.
It's this versus Predator as far as favorite Arnie movies.
Yeah, I gotta get around to that. But yeah, I think the main thing is just everything we talked about with the traveling scenes. I think the soundtrack's awesome. The ending we talked about, just picking things apart. There's just some things that just kind of fell flat. But if you rewatch the movie and you just remember this was released in 1982, I think you can enjoy it way more. But there are just some things that just kind of fall flat nowadays. But if I was to have watched this movie when I was younger, I would feel completely different about this movie because it does kick so much ass. So my fault on that. So my final rating, I'm gonna give us a 4-star because I think it's just gonna become more infamous in my life from here on out. So it could go up, but
a slimy
yeah,
movie.
I had a good time. Yeah, I had a good time. It's memorable. It's fun. It's violent. There's tons of titties. There's at least 6 pairs. All of them unnecessary. It's a great time. Yeah.
Highly unnecessary.
One thing that's interesting, just like from like outside looking in, but like when there's the orgy scene, there's only 1 pair of boobs, and I was like, that's funny. I bet you like if there was like more than one like in that scene, it would be like rated NC-17 or something. Like there's all these just like rules.
You only get 1 pair of boobs in every scene.
Yeah. Like if there's more than 1 F word, it's definitely R. But 1 F word is PG-13. But yeah, it's a fun movie.
Amen.
And before we head out, we're just looking ahead to next week's episode. We're gonna be shifting gears entirely to explore the mastery of Guillermo del Toro. And we'll be discussing Pan's Labyrinth. Which of you have seen this?
I have.
You have.
I've never seen it.
Okay.
It's been pretty infamous in my head, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people close to me have seen it and love it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch it.
You're gonna love it. Just be ready. Okay.
Yeah, for real. I was gonna say, dude, I had no idea what. Yeah.
It is Del Toro Unchained. In every way. Yes. It's so good and it's so graphic. And it's also really deep. I don't know. Yeah. It's a pretty great movie, but there is literally nothing like it.
Yeah. What was it? The only description I got from you guys is meaty. That's the only word. That's the one word description I got for the film was meaty.
It also added a little more appreciation to his new Frankenstein film.
Ooh,
that's the last thing I'll say about it.
I'm excited about that because I watched Frankenstein and I was impressed by it, but I felt like a month later I was like, oh yeah, I did watch that movie. You know? So
we'll get into it, but Guillermo, he's got familiar cards in his deck that he uses often.
Yeah. I appreciate that he is. We'll talk about it next time. I just appreciate that he has a signature. Like you can be like
exactly
Del Toro.
Yep.
Yeah, right there.
Totally. That's a wrap on this episode of Cinema Slime. Be sure to watch the next film for next week's show. We had a blast, and we hope you enjoyed it. This episode was a production by Cinema Slime Productions. This is a group effort, and I speak for all of us when I say thank you. Seriously, it means a lot to us, and thanks for listening however you found us. Help us grow, leave us a 5-star review, and it really helps if you comment and share it with another cinema lover. Our website, cinemaslime.com, is up and running. We're adding essays. All of the episodes can be accessed there. And for our Patreon members, you get every episode ad-free and early. Our social media pages are always active, posting fun stuff, movie-related videos, and other film rabbit holes that we're exploring. You can also show us support by using Buy Me a Coffee, and we'll give you a shout-out if you'd like. All of those links can be found in the episode notes. Love you!